Hello and welcome to the Grounds Crew. My name is Alex,
This is Randy.
and today we are going to make our NL West standings predictions. So we are going to start off with the who ranked fifth last season in the standings, and that is the Colorado Rockies. Colorado Rockies last year finished 61 and 101. They had over 100 losses. And they made some moves during free agency. They lost Cal Quantrill and Brendan Rodgers, who was supposed to be a big prospect. And Daniel Bard is also still a free agent. He hasn't signed anywhere yet. And the acquisitions that they got are they re-signed Jacob Stallings. They got Kyle Farmer, Tyro Estrada, and Scott Alexander. Now, according to Fangraphs, their projected lineup is Brenton Doyle, Ryan McMahon, Ezekiel Tovar, Chris Bryant, Tyro Estrada, Michael Toglia, Nolan Jones, Jordan Beck, and Jacob Stallings. And their starting rotation is Herman Marquez, Ryan Feltner, Kyle Freeland, Antonio Sensatella, Bradley Blaylock, and a couple notable bullpen arms: Tyler Kinley, Scott Alexander, and Jimmy Herget. So this team is not much different from how they were last year. Not many big changes in the roster. So Randy, how do you think this team is going to fare next season?
Yeah, it probably no better than last season. Um, I know of Tyro Estrada. He being a former Yankee and watching him play, and he's a good player. He's a good player, and I think you're not going to have any problem with him in the lineup. Some of these fellas here are rather new to me. Um, I looked down. I recognize Nolan Jones. I mean, he seems to be someone in Brendan Doyle. Chris Bryant, the DH. That's. I mean, there's going to be there's going to be there's going to be some tough times. I think in Colorado again this year. I don't know how young these guys are. So it's going to be an interesting. They're. I mean, you know how it goes. They are having a very good spring training. They're 10-4. They, which is it just a bunch of young kids getting an opportunity to whack the ball around and prove it? That can always help. Though teams that are not projected to do well have a good preseason, have a good camp. There's an excitement going into there's excitement there. There's a few pitchers, Luis Peralta. There's a few guys out there, Jaden Hill. Some of these names I remember that I know that have a good possibility of being a good. I mean, obviously, what they're going to need is they're going to be pitching, and if their pitching can keep them in ball games and they scrap some runs, I think there's a good potential for Bud Black, being able to do something with this team. Now, Bud's a good manager. Um, I don't know. I don't see them any better than fifth unless some players have career years. That's what I'd look at that.
Do you think their record will be better or worse in
Oh, I think so.
2025?
I think so. Yeah, I think they'll be better. I don't think they'll lose 100 games this year. I would step them into maybe a. We're going to give it a number. I mean, I think they can win. No questions asked. They can probably win. I bet they can win 72 games this year, 73 games. There'll be an improvement, but that all depends on pitching and if they get far behind and they get. But just looking at some of the ages, they seem to have. I mean, obviously Chris Bryant's been around a while. He's 33 years old. Charlie Blockman is the bearded wonder. He's still playing, probably, right?
I think he just announced his retirement.
He just retired. Okay, so he's even though the roster just retired, so he's gone. All right, well that'll open up a spot for someone out there. For someone to take his spot, especially since Let's see, he was a right fielder. So yeah, that's got some potential.
Yeah, right
Um,
now, according to Fangraphs, it has Jordan Beck in right field for the
Jordan
Rockies.
Beck in right field. Yep. Okay, I see his
First
name.
round pick in 22.
That's a jump. Did he come straight? Did Beck come out of college?
It does not
Yeah,
say.
it does. It doesn't. I don't see it here.
He's 23, about to turn 24.
Beck, Mr. Beck. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see Jordan. His her birthplace is Hazel. He's from Alabama, but I don't know if he's a college kid or he's a high school kid that's been in the system. But I can figure that out in 1 second because the beauty of touch screen and go. You find out what we're looking at. He's having a relatively reasonable, 261. Anybody hitting over 250, that's not too bad. There are some players having some very good. It doesn't tell me if he came from. Doesn't give me a college here. That's too bad. Maybe he's just a rookie in the system, so it's been out of from the high school time. But yeah, I don't unless some players come to play. I don't see Colorado really benefit, especially in that tough division.
I agree they will make an improvement. I don't think it's going to be quite to 72, 73 wins. I don't think they are going to lose 100 games this year. I think you're right on there. And it's funny, Chat GPT and you think alike. So, Chat GPT told me, according to DNVR Sports, um, they're projecting a 72 and 90 record. So, you guys are
72.
hand in
Yeah,
hand with
yeah.
that.
I think teams that go into the season and knowing that they don't. I mean, they all go in with a desire to make the playoffs, but some know right off the bat that a lot of things have to click, and it goes for the top teams too. You lose a
Hmm.
couple of, you lose a couple of, 40% of the Yankee staff is gone, and that's making Marcus Stroman look real good. I'm just using that for a fact because I've got my eyes lit on that deal, but you get a couple of kids here that perform real well. The Rockies get off to a good start. Suddenly, going 500 is not such a but the season's such a grind that you just don't 10-4 in preseason here. They got some bats playing, so who knows? Maybe they're for sure they got some hope. But it's tough going in when you know that you're not especially when you're I know that ball players they claim that they don't look at projections, but they certainly do. They go look at people and they see the social media is in their on their you see it on their wrist or it's on their phone and they're seeing it and they're reading it. And if they got everybody then pegged at five, because I don't see them. I don't see. I see a battle of four teams, three teams trying to catch one in the bottom. That's it. Arizona, San Diego, San Fran trying to catch the mighty Dodgers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
So we both think the Rockies are going to do better in 2025. The next team that we are going to talk about is the San Francisco Giants. Now, the San Francisco Giants, they lost a lot this offseason. Former Cy Young winner Blake Snell, Michael Conforto, Taylor Rogers, and Mark Canha. And they brought in Willie Adames and Justin Verlander. Old man Verlander.
Oh man, Verlander, exactly right. Yeah. I think when you lose, I mean, unless Verlander steps up, he's Blake Snell was and where did Blake Snell go? Oh, it's just it's it's tough. It's tough to look at the Giants really doing maybe anything better than fourth place, but uh, I would venture to say that their additions, you're holding. I guess you'd be holding your breath. I mean, that's really what you'd be. Matt Chapman's out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
so
mean,
their
he,
projected lineup
yeah,
is
shoot that off to me. Let me see what that sounds like.
Lamont Wade Jr., Willie Adames, Jung Hoo Lee, Matt Chapman,
Yeah.
Elliot Ramos, Mike Yastrzemski, Tyler Fitzgerald, Gerard Encarnacion, and Patrick Bailey. And their projected, rotation is Logan Webb, Justin Verlander, Robbie Ray, Jordan Hicks, and Kyle Harrison. And then a couple of bullpen arms to point out. Ryan Walker, Camilo Duvall, and Tyler Rogers. Both Tyler and Taylor Rogers were in the bullpen last year, but one of them left, one of them stayed.
Yeah, they lineup wise, Matt Chapman, it was sort of coveted out there for a while in trade talks and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
Yaz is a good player. He doesn't even talk about Yaz coming home, but that didn't happen. What I mean by coming home, Boston.
Of course, of course.
I don't really see Sam Fran. I mean, I should say that I don't know if they could make it interesting. They're all chasing the Dodgers. It is very well possible that they come up well and they play well and they get an opportunity to really to put something together. I think the pitching is going to be their toughest thing. I mean, Blake was Blake probably is 15-game winner. We can't say that Verlander is going to be a 15-game winner.
We can't say Verlander's going to pitch 15 games.
Exactly. Well, he's a workhorse. I think if his arm is okay, it depends. It depends. Does he get himself in trouble with the long ball like my good buddy Garrett Cole did the last couple of years? Not really last year, the year before, the year before that. But is there a possibility that he gets in trouble like that? If the Giants are playing from behind, they're going to be in trouble. Their lineup. I think they got some quality players in the lineup. It'll be just a matter of whether they're going to, there's some of these kids. Wow, outside of Tyler Rogers, I don't know if he's still with the club, but some of these kids, Verlander's going to be, it's going to be like a pitching bench coach. I mean, really for these kids, they're all going to want it. They're all going to want to take from him. Uh, I think there's a good possibility that, and we said their record last year was, what did they
Their
finish?
record last year was 80-82, just short of 500. Me personally, I think they lost too much to
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
better season than they did last year in 2024. I think their record is going to show that. Blake Snell is a huge asset. And they had a couple other guys they lost too. I don't think they brought in enough to combat what they lost. I think they will have a worse 2025.
Yeah, I don't think they get 80 wins.
No, I don't either.
Are they going to be ahead of Colorado? I mean, yeah, those two teams will probably
Yeah.
probably find themselves battling for the last place. I think there's a better team on San Fran based on that. So 75 wins out of San Fran is probably what I would see out of them this year. Uh, as a top number. They could
Mm-hmm.
they could surprise. I mean, Verlander's the kind of gamer that he comes in and they see he's doing well, and all the youngers are going to want to match him, and then you get a staff that all of a sudden is turned on by one player, by one pitcher. Kind of looking at if Garrett's out for the year, I'm kind of thinking is Max Fried going to be that guy? Is he going to be the guy that's going to turn that we're not going to remember because we already lost Heel. Heel's already gone, and he was a 16, 17 rookie of the year last year. And if it wasn't for Cole being out, that's how Heel got. So it's a conceivable here that let's see who takes. It might not necessarily be Verlander that takes his place, but Mr. Webb might be the guy. There's Logan might be the guy. Some of these guys might be the ones that step into that. The way that you read the pitchers down was that the order of starting? That the
Yes.
second man was going to be Verlander. So they've already inserted Verlander at number 2.
Well, this is the projected starting lineup.
Projected right. They're going to open with Logan Webb. Yeah. So he's now was probably number 2 or 3 last year. I don't know where it was. So because Snell was number 1, so you plug him in now as number 1. That's an added pressure, but an opportunity. Every one of them are an opportunity. I'm not so sure Conforto. I don't know what Conforto's numbers. I was kind of digging up what Conforto's numbers were last year, But I'm not so sure that his loss is not. I think it's more in pitching. When you lose, it's as if they're all talking about the Braves having this wonderful year because they're all back on Acuna, but he might not show up for till May now, and they lost Max Fried, and a bad start by Atlanta, being 10, 15 games out after 2 months. That's what really dooms a lot of these clubs that are in trouble. Or when they walk into training, when they walk into the beginning of the season, there's always a lot of spark and a lot of anticipation. But a bad April and a bad May.
Conforto last year had a 237 batting average with 20 home runs, 66 RBIs, a 309 on base percentage, and a 759 OPS.
Yeah. About what he did with the Mets. He didn't provide. And then I don't know, his contract there was a year or two with them, and then now he's with if I'm not mistaken, he's with the Dodgers.
That is correct.
Who didn't they sign?
That is the question. Who did the Dodgers not sign?
Who did they sign? I don't mind. I really don't. I really don't mind. And the chances of them repeating they have the best chance to repeat. But it's hard. It's been a while since anyone's done it. Was that way back in early 2000 when there was a 4 in a row? Yeah, that's what it was. That's right. I remember that 4 in a row.
So,
all right, so we got
better or worse in 2025?
Have them for wins. Just out of curiosity, I was on 73 last time. So Fangraphs, you said?
I'm sorry?
They have the projected wins. Who has, what was it, Fangraphs that you talked about that had the projected wins?
So for I asked ChatGPT, and it says Fangraphs and Picada have the Giants finishing in the mid to upper 70s or low 80s.
I got them at 75. That's why I figured that's.
Yeah.
I think for sure Snell is worth 10 games, and then maybe Logan picks up 5 more or whatever, and that leaves them at 75. That's the 75 wins is what I got them. So, but mid 70s. There you go.
Yeah, mid 70s.
All right, so we got that prediction. 4th place is what we got. How do you think? You think that sounds about right for you? 4th place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's 2 clear bottom teams in this division. And right now, it's the Giants and the Rockies, and I think the bottom 2 is going to stay what it was. It's going to be the Rockies at 5 and the Giants at 4. All right, and our next team is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona, who was in the World Series 2 years ago. Last season, they finished 89 and 73, 3rd in the division.
Right.
And they had an active offseason. They lost a lot, but they gained a lot too. They lost Christian Walker, Jock Peterson, Kevin Newman, Josh Bell, Paul Sewald, and Slade Cicone, which that's a name I haven't heard, I don't think. But they gained Corbin Burns, Josh Naylor, Randall Grichuk, and Kendall Graveman.
Yeah. Josh Naylor. That broke up the Naylor Bros over there, I guess. Huh?
Yes, it did.
Bo's still with the Guardians.
Yes.
So Randall what's that? That's last name. Gurk, is it?
Grichuk.
Grichuk. That's right. Grichuk. That's a good player. Jock, I wasn't overly impressed. Losing
Walker.
Christian Walker was, that guy was in everybody's trade books. They were just. Who did he end up going to? St. Louis?
Houston.
No. Houston. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Houston had the most questionable offseason. I have no clue what their plans are.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're wanting to get away from what way they were, but they still got the Altuve.
Yeah, they do still have Altuve.
I'm going to tell you right now, and they finished what you said. They were at 89 and 73. Any pitching? No pitching, right? No pitching.
So they got Corbin Burns.
Sorry, I got right down. My bad. Corbin. I wrote Corb down and I read it. Corbin Burns. That's right. Yeah. Sewald is out to move again. I think he was a former Met. Josh Bell hitter. Yeah. Some of these. Yeah. They're pitching. They're pitching is not necessarily suspect, but they're having a 500 so yeah. I think they'll certainly, they put 89 wins last year. And they were knocking at the door, right? Did they make postseason last year? I don't think they did. Did they?
Don't think so.
I don't. I think they were in the mix. It wasn't like the year before. The 2 years ago was magical for Arizona. It was magical for Arizona, and it all came tumbling down against the Rangers, right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Um, both of those teams had pretty magical seasons that year. I mean, it's literally for a team that's not for teams that are not projected to make the playoffs. They all know who they are. They all go, like I said, they all go into the season with sugar plums dancing in their heads
Mm.
and vision. And you got to have some players do some magical things. You got to have some players have career years. You could read them off with both teams back then. Christian Walker could be somebody that could really. I don't see Josh Naylor picking it up. Randall Gertrick's a good player. I tell you, I don't think they get 89 victories this year. I think they're a 500. I think they're a 500 team.
Interesting. So
Yeah, I just
their projected lineup is Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Josh Naylor, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Jake McCarthy, Eugenio Suarez, Pavin Smith, Gabriel Moreno, and Geraldo Perdomo. Their projected starting rotation is Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt, and a couple of bullpen names to mention. Jordan Montgomery, AJ Puck, and Shelby Miller. Shelby Miller, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. He's
yeah. You
projected to
said
make the bullpen.
they don't even have Jordan copped in for a spot in the starting rotation. Interesting. Yeah, he's still buzzing. He's been buzzing for a couple of years now since the Yankees let him go.
Yep.
Yeah. That lineup. You read some players off. I forgot about Lourdes. Yeah, Lourdes. I
So you think they're going to do better or worse in 2020?
I think they're going to be a 500 club. I don't think they're going to. I think Christian Walker was a mainstay in that lineup. I mean, he's been put up some numbers and obviously some of the players they got to replace are complementary players, but Christian Walker's a big bat.
Yeah.
Jock Peterson had a good year too. Josh Bell was another big bat. Uh, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, Corbin is in some of the pitching they have. I don't really know those names. They don't stand out to me.
I
89 might have been.
actually differ in opinion than you. I
Yep.
think they're going to be a better team in 2025. I know Christian Walker was one of the main pieces in their offense. They got a little bit worse at first base with Josh Naylor, but they brought in Corbin Burns. I think that buys them a couple more wins. I think they will be better in 2025.
Yeah. If you look at, I mean, there used to be a time where you could say, he's a 20 game winner. You're looking at 15 now. 15 and you had a solid year, you're getting a big contract. 16's even better. So you could be right. I just think that after Corbin Burns, there's nobody that really fires me up on that staff. Um, but it is Arizona. It's been 2 years reserved since they burned the World Series. They had a winning record last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think their record last year was better than the record that they got into the World Series with.
That is correct.
If I'm not mistaken.
That's
So
correct.
they actually improved from that and didn't make the playoffs because they were battling there. So you think there'll be a 90-win season for them this year?
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking 92, 93.
I could be persuaded, but I think they lost a big bat. And
I
in a
agree they
lineup.
lost Christian Walker, and that's big. but bringing in Josh Naylor and Corbin Burns, I think that gives them a couple wins. I think that
Randall
makes the
can
team
play ball
better.
too. Yeah, Randall can play the ball to play game too. Maybe I'll. I don't know. I still don't think. All right. Yeah, I'll come off I'll come off the 500 season. I'll come off looking at this. Yeah, looking at this this lineup. I'll come off the 500 season. They'll need to get some pitching to do that to be better than that. You're at 92. You know, some I'll give them. I'll give them. I'll give them 85 victories this year. That's what I'm going to give.
All right.
I
All
don't think
right.
he'll be 500, but they'll be better than 500. 85 victories. We'll see if Corbin is going to be the game changer, and certainly a pitcher of his caliber could do that.
Yeah. Well, all right. So on to the Padres now. Let's
Oh
see
yeah,
what their transactions this offseason was. So they've lost David Peralta, Tanner
right.
Scott, Jerickson Profar, who just went down with an injury,
Yep,
Ha-Sung Kim, Kyle Higashioka, Martin
yep. Calvin.
Perez, and Donovan Solano. But they brought in a couple of guys. They brought in Nick Pivetta, but I miss seeing him in a Boston uniform. Elias Diaz, Connor
Right.
Joe, Jason Hayward, Kyle Hart, Jose Iglesias, and Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah, yeah, Yuri. Yeah, yep. I saw that.
Oh, a lot of moves. Not sure how I feel about it just yet. But what does their projections for their lineup look like? Their projected lineup, if it'll load for me.
There you go. I know two players that are in that lineup for sure, for sure.
Oh yeah,
And
alrighty. So their
and
projected
yeah,
lineup is Luis Arias, Fernando
right.
Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Jake Cronenworth, Xander
Yep, sure.
Bogarts, Jose
Yep,
Iglesias,
yeah.
Jason Hayward, and Elias Diaz. And
The
they're
bottom of their lineup kind of stinks up a little bit, but that's okay. Go ahead. What's their pitching going to be
but
like?
I mean Iglesias had a great year last year in New York. But their rotation is Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish, Nick Pivetta, and Kyle Hart. Then a couple of bullpen names to highlight: Robert Suarez, Yuki Matsui. Let's go with that. And Jason Adams.
Yeah, their relieving is going to be a little. Well, I don't know who their closer is. But, their lineup top six. I'm surprised they got Glaciers down there in the A spot. If that's the projected move of the, but you know, Arrays in the beginning, and you just run down. There's potential of 5 6 guys there, 6 guys that could have really good years from the San Diego, and they're going to need it to be. It'll be interesting if they're capable of challenging the Dodgers. Padres just they're the Padres, and the Padres just get close enough, and then you know how it all works out. They show themselves to be what they are, which is just basically you're and it's a looking up at the Dodgers. I mean, who's not gonna just look up at the giant like that?
Everyone's looking up at the
And
Dodgers right now.
yeah, I like their pitching. I like their pitching. I think you've got some vets there. King showed that he can pitch. And Yankees had that was a tough one to lose, but it is in order to have gotten Soto, that's who they had to get rid of. And then they let go of one of their trade acquisitions, and that one, and Kyle going to the Rangers.
Right.
It's going to be interesting. I think the Padres. This is how the Padres. What was their record last year? Refresh me.
The Padres record last year was 93-69.
So you see San Diego, and I would venture say I know San Diego is not going to come off those 93 loss wins. I think they're going to be better than that. Matter of fact, they could very well be 100-win season and not be in first place. They added to their pitching staff. Where was Nick slated in Boston? I know you probably know. Was he a third or was he? He was a starter, correct?
He was a starter for Boston.
Starter. Was he the third spot or the fourth spot?
I believe he was
I
in
don't
the
remember.
three. I want to say.
Three to
I
three.
believe
So
they
he
had Bayo and Hauk in front of him last year.
right. So he probably comes in. He comes in at number 4 now on that team. I don't think he's going to. Yeah, maybe. Hughes there. Hugh gets on target early. He's a good pitcher. Right. The Yankee fellow's on a good day. Yeah, he's. I tell you, that's interesting. And Cease is going to be at the top. I think they win 100 games this year. San
Really?
Diego. I think they win 100 games this year. I think they're going to be that. They're going to be one of those teams that's going to 100 games, and they're not going to win the division.
Imagine that 100 games and not win the division. So you're
They're
on
great.
board with the Padres. You think they're going to have a better year?
Yep. Yep.
I love when we differentiate. I think they're going to be either the same or worse. And here's why. First off, they have Luis Arias and Dylan Cease, who have been coming off in trade talks nonstop the whole offseason. So towards the deadline, those guys might be out. And they might lose those arms and lose that bat. And another reason why I think this is I wanted to look up the runs that each team did last year. Now I know acquisitions is going to be different. I know. San Diego ranked, where was it? They ranked 8th in runs in baseball. You want to guess who was first?
In runs scored?
Runs scored.
In Major League Baseball or National League?
Major League Baseball.
I'd have to say it was the Yankees.
The Yankees were third.
Okay. Dodgers.
They were second. Who scored the most runs last year? I'll give you a hint. We just talked about
it. Yeah, I'm just going to say you're going to tell me that the Arizona Diamondbacks scored the most runs.
They scored the most runs in Major League Baseball. Now, I also looked at ERA or earned runs for the two teams. Arizona had the third most, and San Diego was ranked 19th. So Arizona's given up a lot of runs while scoring them themselves. But now Arizona just got Corbin Burns. So I think that the Padres, what did they win last year? 92? What did I say?
93.
93?
93.
I think it goes down. I don't think they're 90. I more see them in the upper 80s. Like 88, 89 wins this year. And I see the Diamondbacks doing better than them. With the improved pitching, because Corbin Burns is a very much telling sign that their pitching is going to improve. Not only with him being there, pitching for them, but also what he could do for his teammates on the mound as well.
Right. Always when a good talent on the pitching staff comes in, it does it, especially with the names that are on the team right now. That could very well help Arizona. I'm for having an established. I mean, in some regards, adding Pavetta just makes them more of an established staff. I just see San Diego. I mean, they've got some hitters in that lineup. I think their pitching could be playing out in San Diego might be a whole lot easier than playing in Boston. Boston and New York are some of the toughest places to play baseball. Yeah, I see, like I said, I see San Diego win 100 games. I think they'll be that team that's going to win 100 games, and they probably won't even be contending for the first place because I envision the Dodgers winning a serious amount of games
with health. Yes,
yeah, with health. Oh, it goes that way with every team. San Diego's got some players on the team, Machado and Bogart and Fernando and Jake. You go down the line. Arise, that's how they pronounce it? Luis Arise. Arise. Arise is a former national batting league champion. Why he's being shifted around like he had the last system, but then again, that's the way baseball is. Sometimes he's the kind of guy that he's at the top of the lineup, and that's a guy I would have liked on the Yankees.
There's
But I
trade
think
talks going on
you
with
know.
him going to the Yankees.
Oh, well, he's a first baseman, so I mean, it's yeah. There's with a lot of the guys. There's a lot. The Yankees aren't the only team that have lost already or in trouble in players. It just gets super magnified because of it's the Yankees, and the Dodgers have had their share of injuries too, and it is. You don't want to see him. I mean, Jackson Merritt is a good. I mean, that's where Tyler Wade showed up. Wow, look at that. I think he's a Tyler Wade. What is their? You read off there. You read the projection. Wade's not starting for the
No, he's not
Dodgers at all.
projected to
No,
start.
no. But he's a third baseman, so he's getting some time here. But yeah, I'm going. I mean, Connor Joe's a good player. Yeah, I tell you right now, Jason. These guys, these are some serious names here that have some pedigree and have some pedigree. They can play ball. Isn't that something? I tell you, I'm sticking 100 victories. I think San Diego wins 101 games this year.
Wow. I
And I put
fully
we put it in
disagree with
second
that, like
place.
I just said. But
I know we had that before.
oh yes, we have.
So yeah,
And just to say, Chat GPT says high 80s. They agree with me. Ha.
for San Diego. Wow. So they're going to come off the 93. They added Pavetta, and who's managing that team? Can't remember. I should know that, but
Let me see if it
down
says
the
here.
bottom. Yeah, let me see if I can touch it. No, I mean you get a 16-game season from Dylan Cease.
Mike Schilt,
Huge.
former
Like
Cardinal
who?
coach. Mike Schilt.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I don't think they got worse. That's why I think you know
I think the loss of both Tanner Scott, Jerickson Profar make them a worse team with what they added. Plus the potential of them trading Arise and Cease still very much
yeah,
exists.
I think what you find is as these rosters then become formalized and the trade stuff is all off because you're going to make those trades now, but you basically you don't hear too many trades after the season starts and everything kind of lingers until then. San Diego gets off to a bad start. Most definitely, there's going to be some key players there. They're going to be looking to move, and they're going to be looking to dump. And that'll be ironically, it's with every team. It's with every team. They get off to a bad start. They're 15, 16 games out, and it's they're touching June 1st. They're already got issues. I think teams start already consider that trade deadline and start thinking who is the talks will start. The prognosticators will begin. Um, but those are good ball players. Those two players are talking. Those are Ariza's a good ball player, and they could be and it's not like they don't have Michael King would have a better year. Hugh Darvish. I mean, you add Pavetta, you got a few gamers there. I don't know. I don't agree with them being for sure. They're not going to be less than 93 wins. I just think they're going to increase. I think they're going to look up at the Dodgers, and San Diego's going to be like, okay, we're the team that's going to give this a crack. I also think Arizona will too. I think Arizona has the potential of shading off that 85 to 95 wins and be in the thick of it. Um, I don't think the Dodgers run away with it, but they could.
And that brings us right to our next team, the
Break this right
Dodgers.
there. You got it. We
Um,
agree there. We agree. We agree for certain there. Read it off. Read it off, Towers.
so the Dodgers, who'd they lose? They lost Brent Honeywell,
Does it
Joe
make a difference?
Kelly,
Yep.
Zach Logue, Walker Bueller, Jack Flaherty, and Gavin
Yep.
Lux. But they brought in a whole lot of people.
Who
They
was
brought
who
in
was the who was the first one you said they lost? The first player you got?
Brent Honeywell.
Just look. What was that? Honeywell? Was it
Honeywell.
Honeywell? Right. Yeah. Read
And
off the massive numbers that came in.
so they got Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, re-signed Teoscar Hernandez, signed Tanner Scott, who was the loss the Padres, re-signed Clayton Kershaw, signed Haesung Kim, not Ha-Sung Kim, Haesung Kim from the KBO, Kirby Yates, Michael Conforto from the Giants. Blake Trinan, they re-signed. Re-signed Kike Hernandez. And signed Giovanni Gallegos.
So really, what they did was and they're starting run down their starting pitching.
Yes, let me. I'm waiting for that to load.
Yep.
So I'll do the
that-
hitting first. I'll do the hitting first.
Yeah, the hitting is massive. It's just scary. It doesn't. Yeah, go ahead. We remember that lineup, don't we? We just watched it a few months ago. It feels.
Yep. Alrighty. So their projected line.
Go.
Oh my goodness.
Start. There's it's something. You laugh. We laugh about it, but it's a glorious lineup, isn't it?
It's an all-star team. It's an all-star.
Yeah, roll the tape. Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
Okay. Their projected lineup is Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Michael Conforto, Tommy Edmond, and Haesung Kim. Their projected starting is Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki, and Tony Gonzalez. And
wherever Clay places, because they don't have Kershaw. Kind of, but
there are a couple of bullpen names to list off: Tanner Scott,
yeah.
Kirby Yates, Blake Trinan, Dustin May, and their injury team is also good. Huh?
Is it their closer? Yeah, I don't know who their closer. I don't remember.
Tanner Scott.
Let me see if
the guy they got from the Padres.
Tanner Scott. They got from the Padres. Right.
So I'm assuming they don't have Shohei in the rotation because he's not slated to start the season as pitching. I'm assuming why that he's not. That's why he's not in the projections there.
They say he's going to pitch. That's what they say. But
oh yeah, I just don't think he's going to start the season off pitching. I think he'll pitch some point this season, just not right away. And a couple of guys that
was it ever
they have on the injured list at the moment. Clayton Kershaw, Emmett Sheehan, Gavin Stone, Brusdar Gratterall, Michael Kopech, Evan Phillips. Even their injuries, they don't need the people who are on this injured list.
Yes, for sure. They in all for all intended purposes, they're loaded. They won the World Series. They want to prove that it wasn't just a freak show that they won, because there'll be some that will say that if it wasn't for Freddie's grand slam, the Yankees basically were leading in every ball game. They gave it up. I envision a repeat of last year's Super Bowl, last year's World Series. Same two teams.
Disagree, but continue.
I know. It's going to be a great year, but you got guys like Will Smith, Max Muncy that tasted it. Will tasted it. These guys had been close, and projected not to get there, and then finally, they win this thing. They won it in style. I think Freddie Freeman's home run really kind of changed the trajectory of the series, where suddenly the Dodgers believed they could win. I think they came into the World Series not sure, because the Yankees were riding. Yankees usually get to the World Series and they win it. They don't get there and they lose it. But they did this time around. Their starting lineup is Michael Conforto comes in. He's going to probably be down in the lineup, but probably could be shifted up. Teoscar, will he have a good season? He's locked in. He could. But you're talking about the top six are going to be something else. And, Tommy Edmonds gets another year under his belt. That's a gift. That's a good player. Yeah, they. Winning their division is undeniable. That's going to happen. Are we reconnecting, or did I lose you on that?
I'm still here.
Look it up. Yeah, I'm still there. I'm getting you, and you can see me. It's actually doing a gyration there, but that's okay. I'm getting a reconnecting signal. I'm looking at my internet. It looks like it's okay, but that's okay. Do you still see me though?
Yeah, I can still see
You
you.
see and hear me? You got it.
Yes.
The question is, how many games? That's the question. We know what they lost. We know what went. We know what. And really, what left? Ain't nothing to really worry about. What they picked up is like you said. Who they not signed for? They're a team to be reckoned with. Period. They're the favorites to win it again. The question is, how many? What crazy number do you think is there?
Well, first off, will they be better in 20? I think so.
What was their record last year? What did they finish at? Did they finish with 100 some odd games? Over 100.
They finished
Sure.
98 and 64.
Oh, that's right. That's right. San Diego gave them fits at the end. That's right. That's right. There was San Diego was knocking on the door. Yeah, that was a sin. Well, we know they're going to win 100 games because I already said that San Diego was going to win 101.
Right now, their projection is at 98.
Hang on. Their projection is
From
98?
Chat GPT. Yep, same as last year.
Really? They're not losing 64 games this year. They're not losing 64 games this year.
Can I venture to say
106?
The over-under for the Las Vegas Sportsbook is 104.5.
Yeah, I take the over. 106 games, maybe more.
That is the highest projection since the 99 Yankees.
Wow.
I'll take the over on that too. Let me just ask this ridiculous question.
What's that?
Will the Dodgers beat the record of most wins in a season?
Yeah. They're capable. I'm shooting them minimum 106 wins. It depends where that one. It depends where they are in the 1st of August.
Mm-hmm.
They could be running away with it at the 1st of August. 116 wins. That's what the Mariners had, right? 116. That one great season they had.
Yeah.
I think with all I'm not a Dodger fan. I mean, I don't.
I am not either.
But I wasn't unhappy that they beat the Yankees last night. I mean, like last year. They have some quality ball players on their team, and I think like a guy like Teoscar Hernandez was a fellow that really made a difference for that team. He kind of languished out there in Toronto for those years, and he comes to the Dodgers. Freeman's coming off an injury. He had not injury, surgery, coming off surgery, right? I think for sure 106 to 110 wins, and they could challenge it. What do you think?
I think if there's a team that's going to do it, it's going to be this team. And I say yes. We'll have a new record at the end of the year.
That's bold. That's bold. At least we agree for sure
like
that they're going to win the NL championship game. I have my theories who they're going to play. We'll talk about that at another spot. But I got him penned in for 106 wins to 110 wins, and would not be surprised that they break the record.
I would not be surprised either. So let's just do this really quickly. Dodgers break the record, yes or no? Okay.
They'll be close.
Yeah, if there's a team to do it, it's going to be this one. This has been the Grounds Crew. Please like, comment, subscribe. We are also on social media on Instagram and TikTok. And we are also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This has been the Grounds Crew, and signing off. Have a good one, guys.